We have mysteries to solve. Why the hell did you stop? Zoinks!
Oh, Roadblock!
Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today we're taking a look at the Hasbro G.I.Joe Classified series, Roadblock. Yes, I got another one off eBay. Don't judge me. I've mentioned it several times in the past couple weeks. I am so far down the G.I.Joe rabbit hole. I can't see. Who needs money or time or other properties to collect? I need more G.I. Joe. Just like I said how I needed Duke. He's the everyman. He's the size that I figure most of these figures will be. I needed him to make sure he was taller than Snake Eyes so I could have an idea of the scale of the line overall. Same goes for Roadblock. He's supposed to be bigger, so I needed to have him in hand, right, to see what's going on. Right? Am I just making excuses because I wanted more G.I. Joe figures? Yes. Looking at the package, it's the same packaging we saw with Duke. Window showing most of everything that's going on here. The blues, the G.I. Joe logo, the artwork showing Roadblock. I think it was said at Toy Fair that every piece of art on each individual character was done by a different artist. Which is kind of cool because it exposes us to different artists and different types of looks for these characters, but at the same time it makes it feel a little bit inconsistent. You look at all the packages and they don't match between them, which is okay if you're just tearing them out of their cardboard prisons, but if you're leaving them all in, that may be a sticking point. On the side, more art of Roadblock. Down here, he's kicking the hell out of, what, some alley vipers or something? Up here, he's holding the BFG and he's got some goggles on, some glasses that I kind of wish the figure came with. On the back, that same artwork we've gotten used to seeing since the line was announced. The warnings in so many different languages. Don't put them in your mouth. On the side, the same kind of ranks or medals that we saw on the Duke package, but these are different, so it has to be something, you know, specifically for Roadblock. On the top, the star, he's number 1 in the series. On the bottom, legalese, barcode. I'm gonna get this open and see how Roadblock stacks up to Duke and Snake Eyes and... am I gonna wait for Scarlet? Do I need her now? Yes. Cobra! Cobra! And again, we have the insert with that same... Get out! That star logo. If you want to save these, maybe this is kind of working as a file card as much as I want to see, you know, a little bio, a little... idea of the personality. Maybe this is their modern interpretation of that. And knowing's half the battle. Oh, and out of the package, it's more G.I. Joe goodness, but at the same time, a little restricted. But that's, I say that like a bad thing. Now, I have a certain image of Roadblock in my brain, and I'm sure everybody else does too. Version 2 wasn't always at the forefront of my mind, but the more and more I look at this, the more I'm okay with it. The vest couldn't be more of an homage to that V2 look. Sure, it has some embellishments. We have the new Classified Series gold embellishment going on in places, but at the same time, man, it's so close. The red on the latches on the front. The star, yeah, I don't know, but it's a nice... Well, I guess it had white across the vintage figure, didn't it? But the red coming up over the shoulder mixed in with, again, well, there's some gold, but the Classified Series is also bringing in blue. And somebody pointed out in the Duke review, hey, blue lasers, red lasers, and I guess that makes sense. You get over here, here's the Joe Pro. I didn't come up with that joke, thank you very much. I'm guessing this is some kind of communications device. Scarlet has it, Duke has it, Roadblock has it. Well, Snake Eyes doesn't have, well, I guess he wouldn't need it, would he? The knife on the front, just like V2, we'll get to that here in a second. The back, a little bit bare compared to the front, but it still has all of those design elements. The belt around the bottom is attached to the vest. This is all one piece. The pant sculpt, what we're used to with Duke, with Snake Eyes, it has a nice texture to it to give it a fatigues look, some bagginess, some pouches on it. It just looks natural. Down here, something I've gotten used to as I've messed around with these figures. Here's the gold armor bits down on the legs. 2 kick pads, 1 knee pad. It brings in the red, it brings in the gold. It kind of ties in with this design element up here. I'm all for modernization, and I've come around to actual armor bits, but the gold, especially against Roadblock, who has the muted green, he just has some plain fatigues underneath. I don't know, it just really sticks out. But at the same time, it matches Duke, it matches Scarlet, so I'm good with consistency across the line. I guess it's a team thing. The arms are just a bare sculpt, comes down to gloves, it brings in the red elements, and again, that ties in here. On this side, we get a tattoo of a lion, and it's very nicely done. I just don't know why he has a tattoo of a lion. The tattoo itself seems to be an homage to, I guess, The Rock playing him in the G.I. Joe movie. The Rock has a sleeve coming up over the shoulder, but it's not a lion, so I don't know. I guess it's a neat little callback to the movie. It's a cool design, but I don't know if it's Roadblocky. The head, I've seen people go both ways here. It's very Roadblock or it's not so Roadblock. For me, it comes across as Roadblock. It has the beard, it has the mustache, it has the mean, well, I don't know. I look at it and it's kind of a mean look, but not. Again, like Duke, I'm not sure if this is photo-reeled or some kind of other application of the colors. It's fairly clean. It looks good. I mentioned restricted a minute ago. That's because this vest is put on, I don't know, it's like the belts we saw on Snake Eyes and Duke. It's sonic welded or applied afterwards, and there's no snaps. There's no way to open it up and take it off. And I'm fairly sure there's an ab crunch in there, but it's a little bit useless because of how the vest restricts it. Maybe that's why they put a hinge high and then a ball joint low for characters like this, because you can still get hula hoop action at the waist. You can still tilt him into positions holding his big ass gun, but I don't know, as you're posing him around, you'll notice, oh wait, he can't crunch down. The legs and the feet also seem a little bit bulkier, which they are. They're bigger than the other guys. All that combined, it makes him just slightly more difficult to balance in action poses. It doesn't help that the armor bit here gets in the way of forward foot, so he can't really crank forward. It's not impossible, don't get me wrong, it's just not as buttery smooth as Snake Eyes and Duke, if that makes any sense. We may have a tiny mini playdate at the end of this review. See what's under here, or what. Yeah. Going over articulation, there is a hinge at the top of the neck and a ball going up into the head. The vest is rubbery, so it does get out of the way a little bit. You can crank the neck back. You can look up, bury the chin. Little bit of tilt, but there is a ball at the bottom of the neck too, hidden behind the vest, which gives it a little bit more tilt, but not much. Swivel, butterfly joint at the shoulder, goes forward, goes back. Not a huge amount of movement there, but it helps with guns. Comes out to a hinge at the shoulder, goes past 90, and that swivels all the way around. Rotation at the bicep. Double elbow. Oh yeah. Muscle gets in the way slightly, but way past 90. Again, I'm sure a hinge is under there. You can see it try to crank right there. Boop. But it doesn't really stay in position. Well, you can get maybe one click. Oh yeah, there's definitely an ab hinge under there. Ball joint at the waist. Drop down at the hip so you can come forward, back, out. Oh, look, Roadblock can kick higher than Spider-Man. Take the drop down, put it back into position. Swivel at the thigh. Forgot to mention that they sculpted the pouches just below that swivel, so you don't break those in half when you turn it. Double knee. Oh, not gonna happen. Too bulky. Swivel at the boot. Again, if you don't care for the kick pads, you could probably replace that with the other boots. Hinge at the ankle. Impressive back. Forward though, and then forward facing pin for rocker. For accessories, Roadblock comes with a knife. Yeah, I went with the knife first. And it's pretty standard look. It's a cast all in silver, fairly plain, but it's a little knife. No problem whatsoever holding it. The grip is a little bit big, but I have been putting a lot of guns in that hand. For mine, it'll probably go in here. Stay in there forever. And then we get to his big ass gun. Roadblock is known for carrying a heavy weapon, and like Duke and Snake Eyes and some of the other weapons we've seen with the retail line, they went spacey with it. It essentially looks like some kind of railgun. Have the grip on the back. There's also a grip down here, but well, I haven't actually tried that yet. A grip up here to hold the weight of it. Nice details, mostly silver, but there is some red, there's some blue. And then the whole railgun aspect, I guess, and I'm okay with the concept. I kind of feel like I'd like it better without these extra, just a barrel right there. I think I skipped the hand during articulation. Both hands are side to side, which, I don't know. I feel like it could help a little bit if this right one was up and down. Oh, you know what? No, I'm okay with this going side to side because this grip's straight up. It's the left I'd like to see side to side to help out a little bit because this one goes horizontal. You're not going to defeat me, block. Oh, did I get it? Look at that. He can grip it, but the gun's so big, you're not going to be able to get it across his chest. That's why this grip's up on top. There's a slight flimsiness to where the handle meets the gun right there, so when you're pushing, be a little bit careful. It kind of evokes that 50 cal look from the vintage days, but it's okay. I don't hate it. Oops, I forgot to mention it comes with this too, you know, for the reloading aspect. In the promo pics, the two blue lines are to the back. Oops, I got it upside down. That pushes in, and it is a very tight fit. Once you get it in there, you have to really grip it and pull. But again, like the knife, once that's in there, that'll probably stay in there forever. But like I said, this doesn't offend me at all. Probably on the shelf because of the weapons of all the other characters. He may be holding this. Height-wise, Roadblock stands at 6.5 inches tall. And this right here makes me damn happy. At 6.5 inches tall, he's appropriately taller than Duke. He's taller than Snake Eyes. Duke is taller than Snake Eyes. they're not all the same height. The relative scale here is fantastic. And like I said, shared design elements. Wait, go back. The gold on Duke is muted down. That's why it didn't bother me on Duke. Come around to Roadblock, and that's why it's sticking out at me this time around. It's much more gold, much more shiny, metallic. Now I need to get Scarlet to see how gold hers is. Here's Roadblock against the Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper and the Marvel Legends Black Panther. Here's the Jazzwares Fortnite Havoc that a lot of people are using for Firefly, and then a custom Outback I did. And then here's the new Marvel Legends Gamer vs. Captain America that I was trying to slip into my G.I. Joes, but he looks bigger than Duke and Snake Eyes. He's actually smaller than Roadblock, so I may have my G.I. Joe Captain America. And then here's the Marvel Legends Netflix Luke Cage. What surprises me most here is how close they are in size. But again, we're going to try some swaps here in a second. Okay, let's do a little playdating. The vest definitely gets in the way. I don't think there's any way around that, though. It's not like you can slice here and have a crunch going through the vest. It wouldn't look right. But I got to know what's under here and what it looks like without the vest. So, what are we going to do here? I'm going to attempt to slice down this seam line and then cut it back and around whatever this is on the belt. That way when I put it back on, or if I put it back on, it won't be so apparent. It'll kind of be hidden behind here. Like so. Pop the head off. See if this will go up and over. Well, look at that. It's a shinier plastic than the arm, so it sticks out a little bit, but the muscles are full-on sculpted under here. Even the back, and it's a beautiful sculpt. With the vest on, it gives the illusion that the shoulders are higher, but with it off, man, that's a nice sculpt. And the reason I had Luke Cage out is if you remember version 2 of Roadblock, he has a t-shirt underneath with sleeves sticking out. So if you were to paint this white, will this fit? With some fudging, it may fit, but it is tight. So if you wanted to take this one, put a tank top on it, and maybe a Luke Cage with some white paint on the shirt. There's no armor bits below here. You have to come up with some boots, but it's swappable. Try to get this back off without tearing it up. Seeing this though, bare chest that you're not supposed to see unless you cut the vest off, I have a feeling that they're going to reuse this down the line. Gung Ho is pictured on the back, and he has the bare chest. Well, it depends. On the poster we got at Toy Fair, he's got a shirt look. On the back of the package, he's bare-chested. Could this be that? Sure, it's larger, but if you shorten down the legs, it'll give them a different height. And also on the Fwoosh forums, we realized last night that the red ninjas on the back of the package are using Snake Eyes' arms and legs, and even some of the weapons from the deluxe pack. So I don't think they're above reuse here, especially when it's appropriate. Also, one of the benefits of having it split right there, you can actually use the crunch, but it splits. It's not pretty. So at the end of the day, another great addition to my ever-growing 6-inch G.I. Joe team. It's Roadblock. It's not the original version. It's a version that came later, and not everybody seems to be into that, but for me, the vest really adds a lot. Sure, it gets in the way. It makes the figure less dynamic than the other two, but this is Roadblock. He's lugging a big-ass gun. He's walking in, he's blasting shit, he's the tank. Now that I've messed around with him and stuff, I've taken the vest off, I've pictured in my head what he would look like in just a tank top. It would have made kind of a plain figure, I hate to say that. The vest adds a lot to the overall look. And again, a little bit of reuse down the line doesn't hurt a thing. It keeps prices down. It allows us to get more characters faster. And with the torso covered up like that, it won't be so apparent if Gung Ho does use this. I'm not saying he does, but it would make sense, right? It makes sense for the Red Ninjas to reuse Snake Eyes because, you know, Arashikage. It doesn't hurt a thing. Either way, there is a lot of thought going into this line. The engineering, the design aspects, while again, some people may not care for it, but there's a lot of tender loving care, I think, going into this. There's definitely enough homage elements in all of these figures to make me go, oh, that's G.I. Joe, even with a little bit of gold armor here and there. I'm ready. Give me more Joes. I'm waiting for my case. I'm not going back to eBay. No. So if you enjoyed the review, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or just in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.